All right, so welcome to everybody who attended this session. But I want to title this Real Talk session, and it's not preaching, it's not going to be any of that. But this Real Talk session for the brothers and those who desire to be married, those who desire to have a family, those who desire to have a career, and those who desire to just make it and be successful. And so on Wednesdays at 1:30, we'll be right here having a real life conversation. Those conversations that we normally have in the barbershop, those conversations that we normally have at the court, in the locker room. And so, if we've been honest, some of our real life conversations did not come from the church. It come from the barber who gave you that solidified advice. And so, I want to title this Real Talk before we get into the games and all of that, and do some things to have some fun. I do want to have a real life conversation with the men to let them know that being a man, it matters. And so, number one, what is a man? A man is one who provides for his family, who protects his family, who is a role model, who knows how to be a good husband, and who is involved in his community. Again, a real man is one who provides, one who protects, one who is a role model, a good husband, and is involved in his community. He provides. What do I mean by provide? When it's time to do the things that is necessary for his family, he's their financial freedom. And he protects his family. Why? Because if you look at traditional times, a man protects the woman, he protects his family, and he is a role model. Meaning, when people look at you as a man already, men have been taught that we are to be the masculine version of a female. And not only that, what we've been taught is that we ball things up inside. Now, I wanna get away from that to say that if you're going to be a role model for your family, you're going to have to know how to deal with you first. How can a woman follow you and you have not got your insecurities together, have not got yourself together, have not done the things necessary? Because if a woman going to lead, she got to have something to follow. For your children, the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. So, what kind of legacy are you leaving for your family? When your child looks at you, what does your child say? Those who want to have children, what will your child say? Was my dad absent in the home? Was my dad a great role model? Did my dad do the things that he needed to do? Did he help people? Because it's bigger. It's bigger than yourself. One thing that a lot of people have to understand when it comes to being a man, being selfish, it goes out the window. Being selfish, it goes out the window. So if you have some selfish tendencies as a man, if you have some selfish ways about yourself, we can work those things out. And so, according to the Bible, and by example of Christ, masculinity is humble leadership. It is the sacrificial love and incredible meekness. And what we've tried to do is let society tell us how to be masculine. Now, we do need the masculinity that will treat women with honor, because men, we just don't disrespect. We should never, no matter how mad a woman make you, you should never put your hands on her. You should never talk to her any kind of way, because she is of the weaker vessel. And that woman that you want to love, you should love her how you love yourself. And so we got to understand that we have to treat the woman with honor and fight for the sake of the vulnerable. And if we're going to fight for the sake of the vulnerable, we got to understand that as a man, there are certain things you just should not be seen doing. Yes. And what do I mean by things? Everybody want to be recognized as a man. Everybody want to be classified as a man. Everybody want to have the trophy or the certificate of being a man. But being a man is bigger than having a sports car. Being a man is bigger than having even degrees. Being a man is bigger than having children. Having a lot of money, that doesn't make you a man at all. The Bible says a man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so if you're going to be a man the Bible way, not only just Bible way, but in society, a real man handle the responsibilities day to day that he should handle. He handles his responsibilities. And so what does God require of a man? Let's talk about it. What does God require of a man? He has shown you, number one, what is good. And he wants us to walk justly, to love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. And I know when I was growing up that there were certain things that society tried to say made us a man. Like, anybody know, and I'm going to be real, anybody know what a gang is? Everybody know what a gang is. You got Crip Blood, whatever you want to call it. East side, west side, down side, top side, south side, all the sides. And we classify those things that if we joined those cliques, that made us a man. It did not. Those were society standards. Or I got to fit in to be a man. I had to hang with this to be a man. Now, a real man is what I would call a trailblazer. He creates a unique way. He creates a unique way to be a man in his own way. I can't be you. You can't be me. And so, let's talk about, and then I'm done for real. It's not long at all. In order to be a man, according to the Bible, not just biblical, but in order to be the right man that society needs, to be the right man that your woman needs, to be the right man that your family, your children needs, you have to have what is called an imperative pursuit. An imperative pursuit, meaning every day we must follow after the things that make us better. We have to follow after the things that make us better. Number one, we got to pursue God. Every man, if you're going to lead, should have a relationship in your own way. Okay? Don't define your relationship with God how I define my relationship with God. It is not going to match up. But everybody have their own unique way that they talk to God. Number one, have a relationship with God. Number two, you got to be gentle. Mm-hmm. Everybody think masculinity is being hard, or what they would call in the society standards, a simp. Everybody heard that word. Mm-hmm. Thought if you kiss up to a woman, you're a simp. Ain't no wrong tell me he real bit in. Ain't nothing wrong with going home. And kissing up to your woman. Ain't nothing wrong, man, with saying I'm sorry. Because watch this, men are ego. Are emotional. And so what has happened? Well, I ain't going home talk. I ain't going home. She gonna have to come chase me. But sometimes as a man, for real, when it comes to our family, when it comes to people, some stuff, we got to know what deserves our attention and we got to walk away from it. You got to know what deserves your energy, your time, and your attention. If it don't deserve your energy, your time, or attention, don't buy into it, don't pay into it, don't look into it, walk away from it. You don't have to prove yourself. Being a man ain't in how many shoes you got. Well, I gotta have the latest fit. No, that's fine. You should always, and a man should always stay groomed. A man should always stay groomed. What do I mean? Don't mean you gotta have a suit on. No, don't mean you gotta have a button-down shirt on. But you should have clothes that fit. You should have clothes that fit. And they should fit and not be hanging off. No, you got to know your size. What they say, you try to ease into a medium and it's too small. Or you're going to try to ease into something else and it's too big. But you have to know what it is to have your size and wear your size and not be your shoe size. Because some of us think that acting childish is man-like tendencies when that was never really for real. So you got to be gentle. So not only do you got to be gentle, but you got to be steadfast. The man of God endures to the end. The word, it means to remain under, to persevere, to not give up. There are times in our life where we all gonna fall down. And by God's grace, He'll lift up us. However, we should not so easily give up. We should always pursue and be steadfast until the end. And we should not plan as a man just for an event to say I've done it. But we need to look at the bigger picture and the bigger vision. And so as a man, you got to focus on the finish line. Now, we got these what is considered gender roles in the house. Well, a woman do this, a man should do this. No, it ain't about all that. It's about y'all coming together, becoming one, and knowing what God has called you to. Because you have to be careful. Because as a man, people will set us up or try. They'll try to set us up. And then what happens when we fall? So you gotta have a keen vision. It's like I'll use a lion. A lion vision and his roar and his body stance demands respect from the kingdom that he rules. And so that word, demand and respect, you have to know when to use your dominance, because sometimes we're dominant in the wrong spaces. We dominant at the house, but we're not dominant in the streets. We have to be the same across the board. And we got to persevere to the end. Not only that, a real man will love. A real man will love. Despite of what you've been through, despite of how you grew up, whether your father was there or not, your responsibility as a man of God is to love. And to change what the woman been through and what you've been through. Just because your father wasn't there for you, it does not mean that you be absent to your future family. It does not mean that you don't come home. It does not mean that you stay in the streets. And you got to know when it's time to come home. You got to know when it's time to be preserved. You got to know when it's time to just be by yourself. And so, ain't nothing wrong with showing love God's way. Number one, show love God's way. But you must refrain and remember that the love of God that he had for you when you were unlovely. Set your people an example of the genuine love. And watch this. Genuine love is gentle. Genuine love is gentle. But demonstrate a deep concern for the poor and unreached people of the world. Our job is to set the tone as a man in the world. The question is that I want to leave with you is, what kind of tone are you setting as a man? What kind of tone are you setting as a man? When people look at you, when people look at Makai, when people look at me, when people look at Pastor John, when people look at Sean, my brother in the back, other brother in the back, what kind of example are we setting? What do we want people to say about us? Because the kind of, and I remember there were times when I was 17 and 18 years old that I thought I had to prove myself. But now I realize I'm too old to prove myself. Now my thing is, how do I leave a legacy for others? How do I leave that legacy for others? How do I, based off my experiences, because we've all been hurt, for real. We've all been hurt. We've all felt abandoned. We all felt alone. We all felt like we had nobody to talk to. We all felt like something traumatic was going to happen to us. We all really should have been dead. But to outlive those experiences, we had to understand that now our job is to change our experiences and make it better for our children and those coming after. So being a man is handling, number one, what? Your responsibility. And having a relationship with who? With God. But then 3 is to do what? Set an example to the world. So what? Leaving a legacy for the kids, for your family. Have a relationship with God. And then, I done forgot what I said. Leave a legacy, set an example, or be an example to the world. Yeah, and something like that. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. So you gotta leave a legacy, set an example, handle your responsibilities. People look at Wesley, what do they say? People look at Makai, what do they say? People look at Sean, what do they say? When people look at Pastor John, what do they say? Those 3 things is what I want to leave with you. When people look at me, what do they say about me? Are you lazy? You're hard working.
That's a funny guy.
Right, see?
That's a funny guy.
But that is something unique in you that they can relate to. And you might think, well, I'm not a preacher, and this is not what this is about. Which is why I'm not attacking it so hard like I would on Saturday. Again, it's barbershop conversation. Can I go deeper? Y'all want to go deep?
Yeah.
What did y'all learn about sex today?
Cool.
You learned it in school, right? What you learned about it at?
What you say, I hear you.
He said, where'd you learn sex at?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Mine was in the locker room.
I was in the locker room too.
But if the church, watch this, if the church was handling the example, And we had those necessary conversations, which is why I'm having those necessary conversations now, so it won't be a surprise. Because we all going to have kids one day.
Right.
We want to.
I know.
And I don't want the streets. My daughter, my son found out about the streetway when they could have had those conversations through me. That's what I mean by the example. I want to make it relatable that they can come to me in comfortability. But what has happened, we've held certain conversations because we are afraid to handle them. We are afraid to have those conversations because somebody didn't have those conversations with us. And now we surprised and we get mad and angry when the schools or the streets and all that taught our kids about what we should have been doing. But that's a real example of a man. You have the hard conversations. That way it won't be no surprise. My dad had those hard conversations.
I know I did.
Most of y'all grew up with a father now, right? Great example. So y'all could go to y'all dad. And what y'all dad do? No, son, get in the truck. Let's go have a conversation. But that was his example of what manhood should look like. And you found a what? A friend. And somebody you could trust. So the question is, do the people around me trust me?
Yes.
Do the people around me, can I talk to them without judgment? Because it's been proven. Women live longer than men because they have outlets. But society has taught us, well, you ball it up inside and let it sit there. And what happens, we go to bed mad and angry at the world and taking it out and punching holes in the wall over something we ain't dealt with. I'm learning now that if something make me mad, I deal with it right then. People may not agree with what I'm going to say, but it is what it is. I've learned to stop letting stuff kill me. Address it right then. So if you want to be a fool at 12 o'clock, at 12:02, I'm going to be an even bigger one. But my way of handling it is not let it
get to you.
Exactly. And people may not agree with that, but men die because we don't trust nobody.
Right.
And we understand that we are meant to be the example, but we can't be the example held down. I'm sure everybody can attest to this right here. We are weighted down, and nobody look like they care. You sit in your room like, dang, nobody cares about what I'm going. Nobody cares about how I feel. Nobody cares, even ask. And most of us would have saved ourselves. Most of us would have saved ourselves the trouble if we had those people that we could talk to. What's your favorite sport?
Basketball and football.
What's your favorite sport?
Same.
What's your favorite sport?
Same. And
This-
UFC.
UFC. Cool. See, we got something in common.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pastor John, what's your favorite sport?
I don't know, basketball.
Basketball. What's your favorite sport, Sean? WWE. Wrestling. How many of us actually participated in them? I did wrestle when I was in middle school.
I played basketball for my school and football.
Football.
And I ran track.
Y'all loved it, right?
Yeah, it was.
What made you do it?
My dad wanted to be the coach, so
See?
I wanted to be on the team.
And you loved it.
It was
What
fun.
made you do
wasn't
it?
fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. Can I relate this to something? Can we get back to those days where we do stuff not to escape issues, but do it just for fun? For real.
Let's do it.
We do it for fun and not because we're trying to escape something. Because if you do it to escape it, That means when it's not on anymore, or you go home from it, you're still dealing with a real life issue. But if you do it for fun, like, hey, I can go home and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I'm good.
Nah.
But then what happens if I go home and I still got the issue? Like, dang, football need to be 24/7.
My parents were strict on me. They said if I ain't finished school or I ain't graduate, I had to stay in school and do something to play sports or go to work.
Right,
It's
see?
either go to work or go to school. No, I'm going to work.
Right, see? And you did that, and it worked.
Yes, sir.
Do what works.
Mm-hmm.
There was a famous quote that says, when a man leaves his occupation and tends to another man's occupation, he becomes ill. What time is it? Somebody?
2:07.
Huh?
2:07.
2:07?
And your phone's about to die.
Okay, cool. It's 2:07?
Yeah.
I'll write them down. But hold on, you gotta stop yet. But do it because you have fun doing it, not because you have to.
Yeah.
My eye doctor said this, and then you can cut the live, and then we're gonna go into some games. What's up, Zach? How you doing?
Hi. Hi.
But my eye doctor said this. He said, never let anybody wear your glasses because they don't have your vision. He said, if somebody, thank you. He said, if somebody wears your glasses too long, it can really mess up their eyesight because they can't see out of your glasses. As a man, you got to have your own vision. Again, my doctor said it like this. My eye doctor said it like this. Never let anybody wear your glasses because they don't have your vision. But if they wear your glasses, they number one, they can't see out of them. But secondly, if they wear your glasses and have them on too long, they'll become blind because the medicine in your glass can mess up their eyesight. What am I trying to say? If you got your own vision, you operate your own lane. If you don't have your own vision to operate somebody else's lane, you still can't see.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
So that's our real talk. We're going to presume next week, probably Pastor John will be teaching me, I don't know. But when the next time I come and sit in this chair, we're going to talk about, so we're going to have a different conversation y'all have, and I'm willing to answer any questions.
Yes, sir.
Any questions y'all have.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, like from any question, I don't care what it is. You can stop.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was about